Hello, and welcome to this episode of Tarot the Stash Way. I am glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your participation, which is absolutely one of the best things that happens on YouTube, I think. But, I am all that. I'm going to get my everybody hydrating. Like my little mug. I love these little mugs. Sip, sip. Mm-hmm. It's a little crooked, but anyhow, I am glad you're here. Today we are going to start talking about the majors. Now, I just put part one because I don't know how long it's going to take to get through these. However, that being said, we will start with what we have and go so that we can get something else scheduled. Let's say hi to a few people. Thank you, Sherry, for being here. Good to see you. Lisa Rhodes, thank you for being here. And of course, if you have your paper and your writing utensil of choice, have that at the ready. And Lisa from Zena's Place Intuitive Card Readings is here listening and lurking, trying to do dishes and take out trash, getting ready to feng shui for the Chinese New Year. Very good. Very good. Heather, Indigo Jaguar Intuitive, is here. Lori Kramer is here. Hi, Lori. Oh, and Lisa Rhodes is I will save video to my web page so that I can stop and start it when I need to. Good. I'm glad, because this is exactly the reason that I am doing this. Beth Aspasia Rising is here. Hello, hello. Claire Telford. Hello, Scribe at the Ready. I love that. What are people writing with? I mean, I like me a good pencil, a sharp pencil with a nice eraser. These are round pencils that I bought at the sale dollar bin at Target. And because let's be very clear, when I am at Target, I do not know my limits and I do not purchase responsibly, especially when it comes to themed pen or pencils based around the holidays, because they're just awesome. So what are you writing with? And ooh, Heather has been researching the Graces. That's great. Okay. Brian is here, Blushing Nerd Tarot, who I have outed myself. I owe him an email or like several emails and a text for something completely and freaking awesome. Just saying. Genealogy Junkie, hello, hello. I did not get to see that. I heard it was good. Here is Robin, Toadstool Tarot. Thank you for being here, Robin, and for Tarot the Stash Way. While we're starting our conversation about the majors. And if you tuned in yesterday to see the Tarot Time or Tea Time with Tarot Sachet, if you don't ask the question, if you can't handle the sass, it was fun. All right. Ooh, my chat just jumped. Look at that. Okay, this is great. Love that. And Early Ritual is here. Hello. Good to see you. Luna Lise is here, lurking. Great. Professional Stash is in the library. Yes, actually, this is my background officially for that. Exactly. Sip, sip. Everybody, you need to hydrate, people. You need to hydrate. Got coffee. Good. And Linda de Gonzalez is here. Hello. Calla Lizzie is here. Lisa is here. Hello. And just getting caught up. And I'm loving this. Manasa Wellness is here. A bit of work, a bit of lurk. And we all know this. Here you go. It's work lurking. And by the way, for those of you you may not know this, but I am a guest on Manasa Wellness on Saturday at noon Eastern, 11 Central. Join us. Go over there and like and subscribe because it's going to be a good time. What? Okay. TWSBI. Is that a fountain pen? I don't know. My fountain pen person is not here. I use whatever pen pencil I have on my desk. There you go. And okay. Just getting caught up. Lorraine Morris is here. Hi, Lorraine. Zane is here. Tarot Token Witchery. Hello, hello. Tara Rita was lovely, wasn't she? Luna Lees is saying hello to everyone they may have missed. Lilac colored pen and new journal that is waiting to be full of new ideas. Ooh, if you write some new ideas down, please let us know. Regina's Tarot and Wirecraft is here, and she is also work lurking as she usually does. And she says, I swear, he says it, and I am summoned. Yes, I have that power. Oh, fountain pen. Thank you. Okay, got it. Fountain pen. I love me a fountain pen. Lady Knight of Avalon, Maria is here. Hello. And y'all don't forget to go over to Manasa Wellness because that's where I will be on Saturday. So that'll be quite good. Manasa, I think you are, yes, you are a you can add that to the chat if you want. So I have got so many amazing things on my desk. So thank you everybody for being here. Okay, so Tarot the Stash Way. This is just the way I read tarot. You're welcome to learn from it. Learn from it by trying things that I do. You're also welcome to learn from it by doing things the complete opposite that I do. It all works out well. Tony is here. Hi, Tony. Good to see you. Antoinette, Intuitive Tarot and Jewelry. And Kathy is here. Good to see you. Yes, Aspasia Rising is Beth. So, okay. So, remember, my goal for Tarot the Stash Way is to give you tips and tricks for you to be able to have your own resources, whether they be on little cards like this, because we've already done elements, we've done numbers, we've done some numerology, we've also done the court cards. And I wasn't going to do the majors, but people wanted me to continue, so that works. I'm talking really, really fast because I'm excited, so let me take another sip. Everybody take a sip, and hydrate. I got my iced coffee, perfect for the afternoon. I always suggest you, when it comes time for you to study and deepen your understanding of tarot, I encourage you to find a book that really goes well with the way you are already reading and the way you're understanding tarot. We all know mine. My favorite book is the Robin Wood Tarot, the book by Robin Wood, who passed away last year. Very, very great book. I also suggest you pick a book that challenges you a little bit. The one that challenges me, which I love, is Holistic Tarot by Benabel Wynn. Very, very well researched and extremely useful. Extremely useful. Hi, Heather, Silver Star Priestess. Driving, lurking, listening. Well, I'm glad you're okay. So, and take your notes however you like. So I have some of my notes here with me. I have them pulled out of my book. I actually have a 3-ring binder so that I can add to my my book as needed. So we're going to start with the Fool, which is 0, and then we're going to work our way through the World, 21. And so what you'll see is there is tarot. I don't know if we've talked about this, but tarot is divided into the major arcana or arcana and the minor arcana. And the majors, when something comes up with the major, it suggests that this is a significant event. This is also something extremely important and usually has something to do with archetypal aspects of things. So now the major arcana or arcana applies to all of the phases in our life. And when you get a reading with a lot of majors in it, if you are using a full tarot deck, it means that there is something significant going on. And yes, you can do a great reading with just majors only. Robin Toadstool Tarot talked about that. So arcana or arcana means secrets. So these are the major secrets. And these tend to be major life events. I'm going to pause there for a second and ask, is everybody following me? Can you hear me okay? Do I need to slow down? Jonathan Daly is here. Hello, Jonathan. And Joan B has arrived. Hello, Joan. I do appreciate everybody who is lurking and listening in. Thank you. And for those who are watching this back, I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. It lets YouTube know that you like my stuff and you want to see more. So sounds okay, great. Everything's good. When I want a guide level reading, I use majors only. That is a perfect way to do that. Yes. That is a good way to do it. And you're loud and clear. Thank you. Thank you, Purple Elephant Deb H. And by the way, for those who like the back and forth with Jamie and Gerald, next Tuesday at this time, Purple Elephant Deb H is asking the questions. It's sure to be a good time. Got it. Cindy C is here. Hi, Cindy. The sound is clear and the speed is good. Thank you. Okay. It's one of those things that I always like to check in and focus is off a bit. Focus is off a bit. Daily polls in December were from a majors only. Ooh, how did that work? Love that. Okay. I am not going to be showing you any cards because lots of people prefer different types of cards. Many people have an RWS, Rider-Waite Smith deck or a clone or a spinoff, and that works. Influenced. The Tarot de Marseille, which I'm not really focusing on here, still has the majors. They have a slightly different spin. The Thoth, Tooth, whatever. Somebody pronounce it correctly for me. Has a different spin on them. So, all right. And by the way, there are a whole lot of good books out there. And my suggestion for you when it comes to a book, find one that you like. stick with it, read it, and take notes. Find one that you argue with, and do all that. So, all right, I'm pulling up my notes. You ready? So, the Fool. Everybody ready? The Fool. This is Zero, the Fool. And this is really part of the ethereal world because think of it, zero is nothing, or nothing comes before something. I like to think of the Fool as the connection between both sides of the veil. They're the seen and the unseen. He's essentially a jump ring from one life path to the next. Some people place the Fool after the world, and you can do that. The Fool doesn't really represent foolishness, but more optimism and innocence and hope. The Fool, I like to think of the Fool as knowing a bit what's out there and taking that leap of faith. And um, and think about it. The Fool could be going anywhere, anywhere, and do anything. The Fool is on a journey. Some people think of the major arcana or arcana as the Fool's journey, and you could certainly do that. And we've talked about that here on Tarot the Stash Way. The Fool's journey through the majors, Fool's journey through the minors, through the suits. So, okay. This is a card of optimism. When the Fool shows up, I like to think that there's a sense of optimism and hope because there's going down a new path, starting something new. It's the seed from which all things come. And the Fool is one who wants to experience the many things and goes out into the world. So think about that. The Fool wants to experience many things and goes out into the world. All right. Do you have keywords that you like to use for the Fool? Because one of the things that I got from Robin Wood was the idea is when the Fool shows up, pay attention. Because there's something significant going on. So, okay. All right, let's see what people are saying. And Doug B is here. Hello. Good to see you, Doug. I started writing right in my favorite tarot book. Oh, I love that, Joan B. And there you go. Just to be clear, Joan B and Doug B are no relation. So, Gerald, the Fool is the Hebrew letter. I'm going to mispronounce it. The breath of life. Ooh, that's cool. The Fool is the bridge between the major cards. Yes. And I've never resonated with the title Fool. Does anyone else agree? Well, what would you call it? What would you call it, Heather? I'm going to challenge you. What would you call the Fool if you don't like that title? What would you call the energy encapsulated here? One of the things that I also like to do is I like to think of this card as beginner's mind. So, Joan B said about 650 AD, the mathematician, blah, 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 amongst others, used small dots underneath numbers to represent a zero. The dots were known as the sunya, which means empty, as well as ka, which means place. Robin Toadstool Tarot said, depending on whether you read from left to right or right to left, the Fool is either starting his journey or returning from it. RWS and Marseille indicate different directions. Thank you, Robin. And Joby copied that from a Google result. Good. We have pilgrimage. Maria said. That's good. Innocence, yes. Lisa Foster said, hey, hey. Zero, empty place. Okay. I think it reminds me of being foolish or not taking seriously. Okay. Taking a step of faith, new beginnings, opportunities. I would agree with that. The Fool is a good reminder that it's a journey, not the destination. Beginnings, journeying, yes. Optimistic adventurer or spiritual seeker. I like that. I like that. The beginner's mind is a good one. And the Marseille Fool faces the direction of the future journey. The RWS Fool faces the path or return from the journey, but it's all just one endless circle. The wreath in the world, yes. Yep. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Yes, absolutely. So we have the full journeyman, man, woman, the traveler, innocent. Yes. What was the question? I had a member of faculty. Well, the dang faculty. I was just asking what would your word be, your key phrase. Now, a lot of people like to pick a keyword for the fool, and I agree with that. If you can pick one keyword that's going to start you and help you build your understanding of the depth of the fool throughout your reading experience, I think that's a good thing. Fearless ignorance is bliss. Faith, just go. Hi, Ack. And, ooh, spiritual seeker. Yep. Like to add the fool meaning you must go forward. You cannot go back from here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great stuff. Fool is a potential from which the rest of the deck is born from. Yes. Fearlessness. I see that. Is this all textbook definition or feeling on the card? I take it simple on instinct. Lisa, I love taking it on instinct. I also like to supplement that with some research. I have done research. I've got like 5 or 6 books around to help me. So I say balance it. I say balance it. Robin said, it seems appropriate that someone called the fool is represented by zero, a circle. If you walk in cycles, the fool's journey, does that make you a fool? Inexperience, leap of faith. So, I like that idea of beginner's mind and paying attention because when the fool shows up, there is there's a necessity to be willing to move forward. Protect my energy. AAC said, isn't everything a blessing? Sometimes it's a lesson to learn and a lesson to share. Absolutely. That's a very affirming perspective on it. Heather said, the fool card to me represents the humanitarian, also the universal changes because it's ruled by Uranus. So out of the box thinkers having faith in the journey, mad scientists, not everyone has your vision. Yeah, yes. So we've gone from nothingness, the fool, fledgling, okay, fool, innocence, new beginning, fresh start, unconcerned, frivolous. And what's great is there are some decks that I think it is the Sassurabito has the fool as someone who is an elderly person. It's a man with a long white beard, and that is just great. Could a fool mean watch your step, think twice? It absolutely could. It absolutely could. Notice, however, Lisa, it said watch your step. Still take the step, but watch it. Watch where you're going. The fool steps into the circle of the world. Is the fool stepping out after completing a journey? It Yes, yes. So after the zero, then we have one, the number one, which is the magician. And if you think back to the numerology class or numerology section, ones are about beginnings. And this is the number of unbound potential. The ones contain everything that is fully possible. And all right, we still got some good stuff going on. Why a Native American culture is represented by the otter. Yes, the fool sort of harkens to the village idiot in the days of yore. Crazy, wise, or both. That's a really good point, Beth, because when we think about it, the village idiot was considered to be blessed by God, right? So I think it's also a holdover from the Carnivalesque, when the populace was able to engage with activities like Terra. Lent was forever back then. Oh my gosh. Step out, step right into the next world. See, you got some good support. Thinking about the magician. When we have the magician, the one or the first card after the fool, after the zero, this is a card of creativity. This is the card of we have everything we need in order to make this happen. This is the card of ego, because when most of the magicians, there is there are all of the suits of the minor arcana on that. So that tells us that we have the control over those. And this is also the card of the individual. This is somebody who says, I am. I am. And this is somebody with a magical soul. They have a good skill set. They have communication and intelligence. And this is a person who, when we think about this as an individual, this is someone who learns things easily, and they don't need anything else. The magician is complete in and of themselves. They're singular, and there is a sense of needing to be in control. They need to see it. They need to understand it. When the fool comes up, excuse me, when the magician comes up, it's all about ego. This is all about me, and it's about my will. A lot of times there is a wand involved, and if you've watched Magic Tool Talk, wands are an extension of my will, and this is a card of projection. I am going out into the world. I need to. When I go out into the world, I understand myself better. All right, I'm going to take a sip and get caught up. Y'all are doing wonderful. Love this. Okay. All right. Jonathan has to go. That's what I tell my husband. I may be crazy, but I'm blessed by God. There you are. Creative commitment. I would agree with that. There is a lot of creativity in the first the number one major arcana. I haven't bonded with the magician card enough yet to have an internal intuitive meaning for it. We could do something about that. I mean, we could talk about that and show you some. Robin said the number one always reminds me of a wand, and when I think of the magicians, I always think of wands. I could certainly see that. Manasa Wellness said magician card is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. The power is in your hands. Yes. Magical dexterity, manifest everything himself. Yes. And I think that's it's an important thing. He can do all of that. Yeah, it's like I create. Yes. Beth said Arthur Waite said the magician is someone who on whom the spark from heaven has fallen, as above, so below. I could absolutely see that. Lisa from Zena's Place Intuitive Card Readings, who, by the way, is going to be on my channel for readings with Jane the Seeker in a couple of weeks, said, my favorite thing about the magician is that it usually contains all the suits. Wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. Yes. The magician aligns with Mercury, quick, communicative, clever, and learned. Yeah. The wand is a pointer. If the fool seems lost, the magician points the way. I like that, Robin. I like that. Let me look at some of my notes. So the magician is someone who doesn't need anyone else. They're happy within their control. It is the card of skill, intellect, and control. And this is definitely, I see this as somebody who they're okay by themselves. Taking all the tools available you have and you need within you, even if you start small and start somewhere. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great visual, Robin. It's a great visual. The idea of is the wand is a pointer, and if the fool seems lost, the magician points the way. Absolutely. Is the magician's hand coming out of the clouds in all of the ace cards, handing out the resources? Cindy C. Guess what, everybody? There's your homework. Think about that. Consider that. It could be. It could be. That could be a great visual. I hadn't really thought about that. Ooh, Cindy C. Cindy C got me. That's a good one. I like that. So, the magician is alignment with the element of the universe and can make it happen if he wills it. Yes. What is the snake as the belt in some type? I don't know. You're Black. Hello, welcome back. Thanks for being here. It's the fool who uses the tools he has. He uses will and acts, creates. Of course, the four elements are there for him. The negative side, it's manipulation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very alchemical too, because you're taking four elements and creating something out of nothing. And totally, when we get to temperance, we'll talk more about that too. Yeah, it's good. I hadn't really thought about that. This is good conversation. This is truly wonderful. Thank you. So, okay, so we've talked about the fool, 0. We've talked about the magician, 1, and now we're going to talk about 2, the high priestess. So, if the magician is the one who says, I am, and I am all that, and I'm going out into the world to understand it, the high priestess, or number 2, is the one who goes inward to understand what's going on. The magician goes outward, the high priestess goes inward. There is a great knowing with the high priestess. And there is a direct communication with the mysteries and secrets to the Akashic records. Great phrase for this one is wisdom and compassion. Because if we think about the magician, the one having knowledge, the high priestess has wisdom, which is knowing how to use that knowledge. The 2, going back to numerology, is about balance, and it's about the connections that are there. So this is very, ethereal and very receptive. There's a sense of knowingness here. And there's a lot of secrets and a lot of privacy. This is someone, this is a card about having a knowing and not needing to say it out loud, or knowing it and not saying it out loud because it's still secret. So, um, and I also think with the High Priestess, there is a lot of empathy, of what's going on. There's that sense of knowingness. So, and now one of the challenges with the High Priestess is someone who is caught up in High Priestess energy could get lost in their inner world and lose touch with what's going on outside. So, all right, let me get caught up on chat. Beth said, magician reminds me of the carnival man Dorothy runs into right before the tornado. He points her back home later on a very fake Oz. Yes. Robin said, it just occurred to me that the magician's wand, as above, so below, while the fool looks above, he's about to step off a cliff into the below. Introvert enlightenment, yes. Lisa, I can absolutely see the High Priestess as a motherly figure. Ah, a two, the yin and yang in balance. Nice, nice. And yes, you go to your mother for advice. I might actually go to card number 3. However, you are still correct. The magician feels materially earthbound, and the High Priestess goes within and without connecting the spirit and the cosmos. Or not saying it out loud because the fool, aka us, must find out the mysteries for ourselves. Yeah, definitely. All right, let me look at my notes. So we have wisdom and compassion. There's a lot of secrets with the High Priestess. Sometimes someone who is a High Priestess as a soul card could be a bit of a know-it-all. However, they sometimes could appear that they're off in their own little world. It's because they are in another world, because they have a whole inner world going on that is just as real to them. This is a very, very spiritual card in the deck. Very spiritual. And this is a very feminine card. I always think receptivity being a feminine figure, her dress being blue, talking about the stars and subconscious, the Torah on her lap, assessing sacred wisdom from the ether. Yeah, yeah. So, Heather, yes, they could lose touch with reality. As someone who has a soul card of a High Priestess, they could be so caught up in the inner world, they don't know how to deal in the spiritual world. They're having difficulty engaging in this in the physical world, in the material world. So, yes, they know when to keep their mouth shut. Yeah. High Priestess seems to me the most studious card of the deck. She is studying the unknown, the seemingly unattainable. That absolutely. And by the way, I'm going to be watching this back and getting all that. I mean, this is really good. Quiet and powerful wisdom, a grandmotherly vibe for me. I can absolutely see that, Brian. Yes, yes. Quiet and powerful. All right, let's look at the Empress. I'm going to take a sip because I got to hydrate. So the Empress. So we have gone from the Fool to someone who, to the Magician who is all ego and outward, the High Priestess who is all inward. Then we come to the 3, the Empress, which is 3s are very stable. It's it's a card of fruition and manifestation. So, and this is the material feminine. And there is, when you see the Empress, there is a need to create something, to help something come to fruition. It is the epitome of the material woman, and it's the epitome of motherhood. And, I'm careful with that because making things come to fruition, the Empress, things that come to fruition can include things like business. You can build a business from nothing. You can create art from nothing, create life. Um, the Empress is fertile with ideas. So, so, um, so much possibility there. Um, and the Empress card is is driven to create. There's a sense of manifestation there. This is and the Empress likes to treat everything with that same passion. There's the same drive to help everything to be successful. Thinking about the Empress, this is the card of self-esteem. She realizes her own value. Long pause. She realizes her own value, and it is about self-esteem. And this is the card of control of the environment. Okay, so think about that. Uh, the Empress knows the order in which things should happen. And or things should take place. That's why someone who is an Empress could be a very good business person because they understand this has to happen before this. This has to be going on at the same time as this. Um, they have a sense of control and order. Think about it in the sense of knows everything that's going on all at once. We've all had those managers who know what's going on, who needs what. Some of us have had mothers who knew how to run a household. My mom could feed a family of 12 with $1 worth of hamburger and everybody be full. Okay. So um, I like to think of the Empress as the one who says, this is how we're going to do it. This is the card of the artist, and has to have a good sense of their environment. So, all right, let me get caught up here. Divine Feminine Unleashed. Ooh, yes, 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 yes. Lisa, I'm glad you've got that. A magician equals quick and resourceful. High Priestess, the sacred. The Empress, the Mother Nature. The Fool is learning. Yes, yes. I had an art teacher, and she was very much an Empress. Yep. Fool equals id, magician, ego, high priestess, um, super ego. Could be. Is the Empress the daughter of the magician and the high priest? Has she got the best of both if they were her parents? Claire, that is a very, very interesting approach. That could be. That could be. The Empress is like Mother Nature, has passion, and that can manifest in righteous anger, can manifest in righteous anger and explode like a volcano or bring torrents of rain. Aqua 28, hello. And tending to things that need tending, yes. And one of the great things that I think about with the Empress, people who I know who are Empresses, they know what you need before you know you need it. Let me say that again. They know what you need before you know you need it and are already to provide it to you. So, does make sense that High Priestess is grandmother. Empress is grounded, stable, resting. She's the one who has to push the child or fool out of the nest so he can be on his way. She is the weaver. Could be, could be, could be. And this is one of those things that if you, when you are studying and you're writing down and you're exploring, and you come across a deck, or you see somebody read with it, and the major arcana are called something else, write it down, because that helps you add more information to what is. It helps you understand how to interact with each of the major arcana. Yeah, my sister is the Empress. She knows what I need before I do. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So, all right. Let me make sure that I have everything. The Empress realizes her own value, controls the environment. So, when you think about someone who is an Empress, these are maters, not daters. There is a need, and when the Empress card shows up, there's a need that something is to be taken care of. So the overlap with the Empress and the High Priestess is the empathy. Empresses can be very, very empathetic. That's they know what you need before you need it, before you know. So, but again, remember the idea of the Empress. They can make, they get things to come to fruition. They are strong business people. They're really good at project management. They've got lots of good ideas. Okay, I like Empresses, so let me see. Astrological association is Venus. Earthly and sensual. Mm-hmm. Yep. The Fool in the Sacred Circle is called the Green Man. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go to the Emperor. So we're on card 4, which is actually card 5 if you count 0. So Empresses are nurturers like queens, but more so. Yes, Robin. The queens are the minor version of the Empress, and the kings are the minor versions of the emperors. And so keep that in mind. Okay, Weaver, like the mother holding the family together. Once the mother figure is gone, sometimes the family unravels. That is very true, Lisa. Very true. So if we've had the Empress, now we have the Emperor, which is card 4. And this is the material masculine. This is the very projective energy. Thinking about the Emperor is the one who has the big picture plan. So when the Emperor card shows up in a reading, it's time to go, okay, where's the big picture? What's going on? The Emperor is about creating the foundation. This is the authority, and like the Empress, there is a sense to control. The Empress like to control things in an environment, and the Emperor likes to control what goes on in the empire, so to speak. This is the CEO or the entrepreneur, owns the show. And this one says, this is how we're going to do it. Whereas the Empress said, this is what we're going to do. The Emperor says, this is what we're going to do. And big picture plan. I like to yes, the architect, that would work very nicely. Yes, that works very, very well. Well, I'm glad you like being in class, John B. Yeah, oh, you'd sit in the front. Well, good, because I would totally be looking at you, and if you're thinking, I would pause long enough for you to actually get your thought out. The Empress thinks outside the box. The Emperor is the definition of someone who works well within the box. They both produce results. The Emperor is the executive. That is it's a great explanation of that. The Empress thinks outside of the box. The Emperor is the definition of someone who works well within the box. Yes, they create the box. So the Emperor is definitely very, father figure-y. They're the boss. The Emperor is one who puts down roots, who wants a very, very solid foundation. And the Emperor is one who has a life plan. Where are we going to live, or where am I going to live? How am I going to make my money? So big, big, big picture. Whereas, when we have a nice balance of Empress and Emperor energy, and the two of them are working together, the Emperor, regardless of gender, has that life plan, where we're going to live, how we're going to make our money, and the Empress is the one who says, and this is how it will all work. This is will it all work. Bye, Manasa. I'll see you on Saturday. I remember me reading in the Barbara Moore book that the parents of the tarot, the Empress, creates and generates abundance of resources, and the Emperor manages those resources, which I found helpful. That is very nice. That is nice. Oh no, that's Kathy. Good job, Kathy. I thought that was Robin. Sorry, Kathy. Good. I like that. I like that. And Robin said, because it was Robin's above you, Robin said, I always associate the Empress and the Emperor with their seats. She's on a cushy lounge and he's on a stiff throne. She's in comfort, yet refuses to budge. He's stubborn. Yes. Now, that being said, we can. Yesterday's sassy readings throws me off now about the Emperor sitting too long. Okay, let me make sure I have this. So, Emperor, big picture plan, life plan, creates a foundation, needs to be in control, understand what goes on in his environment. Big picture, puts down roots, and okay. Sometimes the Emperor could also be a reflection to some of the psychism associated with that could be deads and spirits that once existed because of that deep connection. And they're one of those. Bye, Heather, Silver Star Priestess, because they have those deep roots. So they have those things. Okay, kind of like old time sitcoms. Mom caring to go to cooking and holding it all together. The dad always fixing things and in control of the rules. Yes, yes, and for that really, I think it's one of those things. It plays out so differently now because we have so much different experience. So, okay. Going to take a sip, and we're going to start with card 5, or the Hierophant. Are you all remembering to take a sip? So, Fool. Then we have the Magician. I am. The High Priestess. Who am I talking to? The Empress. I'm gonna make some things happen. The Emperor. I've got the big picture plan. The Hierophant is about creating rules and structures for so that we can exist. Because if we've been that the Empress and the Emperor, they sort of go together. They're a nice union. and that energy. So there's a balance there. And the Hierophant is about building community. Now, let's get rid of all of that, all of the some of the associations about religion. They're in there, but let's focus on something else. Um, because the Hierophant is the religion card of the deck, so to speak. It's the opposite of the High Priestess, because the High Priestess knows and understands, doesn't need to go outward. The Hierophant is going outward and setting up rules and structures to be able to experience that. The Hierophant is about the dogma, the rules and the politics, thinking about things, setting up hospitals and schools and the justice system and banks and stuff like that. The Hierophant in the Robin Wood, she calls it the conformer. So this is about getting everybody to join together. So I'm working, Kathy said, I'm working on creating healthy boundaries. The Emperor often pops up to remind me of that. I really like that. Good for you, Kathy. In the Sacred Circle Tarot, the Hierophant is the Druid, which I love. Is the Hierophant meant to be a mentor? Could absolutely be a mentor, Robin. Because here's something that here's something, and there's some great comments, and I will get to those, but I want to, the Hierophant is meant to be a mentor. So we have the magician who is getting these tools and getting to use them. It's the High Priestess who understands intuitively how to use them, and the magician is fumbling around trying to use them. The joining of those two is the Hierophant, because the Hierophant gives some rules and structures on how to use those tools and when, so that we can connect from the physical to the spiritual worlds. That's where I think sometimes people miss things. I see Hierophants, yes, they do set up rules and structures, but it's it's rules and structures that are helping us to be able to connect to the other worlds. Some people are born with it. High Priestess, they get it, they understand it. Some people have to work for it. And so they do need the rules and the structures and the processes. Okay, thank you for letting me get that out. Calla Lizzie said the crossing guard of the social contract. Yes, that could definitely be. It is like the government, yes, and we would always, we would always hope that it could be a government that works well. Professors in academia, yes. Write it down, write it down. Keep hearing priest and Pharisees. Oops, sorry. Taking notes. A teachable moment, learning from past mistakes. Yes. So I love this. The Hierophant is, this is how we come to understand how we interact with the world around us. Somebody who is a Hierophant, they love to give advice. They love to get advice. They love to get it. They know, they make up their mind. However, they are about rules. They're also about not following the rules, especially when they've made them up and they don't apply to them anymore in their mind. However, Hierophants can change their mind when they are given new information that they hadn't considered. So think about that. It is about the teachers, the counselors. They help individuals with rules and understand how things work. Helps us to understand how we behave. It's very much a teaching card. So when the Hierophant shows up, it's a card of teaching and learning. So it's advice and counsel. Again, this is also the card of Tradition. Well, we've always done it this way. Okay. But someone who is a Hierophant as a life path, they can change when they get new information that they hadn't considered. Um, all right, so tradition. They don't change their minds easily, but they need to understand what the new information is and how it works. These oftentimes could be considered the pillars of society, and they the Hierophant also suggests that we give back to the community in a way that helps them spiritually. And when a Hierophant shows up, it's important to remember you need to understand how things work. How do things operate and how do they work together? So, all right, let's get caught up. Dogma, yes, dogma. I see that, Robin. High Priestess and Hierophant are like personal spirituality versus organized religion. Yes. Design of the letter BAV is a hook to the forms that can represent a chute which connects a higher level to a lower level. Yes. And that is it that's why I think it's important. Sometimes the five gets a bit of a bad rap because people think they're only about rules. Well, they're about structures and processes, not just rules. And what are those rules meant to do? Or governess or teacher? Yes. If the fool met the Hierophant, would they exchange ethereal or earthly ideas? Ooh. What do you think, Claire? I actually think the fool would probably point out what the Hierophant was doing that wasn't working. Okay. You all are giving some great, great comments. Thank you. The Hierophant teaches the fool to respect laws and societal rules. I like that, and at the same time, it's like I said, the Hierophant sometimes needs to change, and they need to get new information because things have changed. Google definition says a person, especially a priest in ancient Greece, who interprets sacred mysteries or esoteric principles. Yes, someone who, yeah, this is why we would go to a high priestess because they were connected. Medicine man, medicine woman, yes. Could be institutions, yes. So, okay. All right, we have been going for an hour. Oh, here you go. Beth, I think also the Hierophant would teach the fool to operate within those rules. Here. There you go. Now, this is a good pausing point to, so we've gone through 6 cards. We're finishing with card 5, and there are positives and negative associations with all of the cards. And it is important as you get experience with tarot, as you continue to grow and expand your experience, whether you're reading, you're actually practicing reading the cards for other people, you're reading books, consider what those other things mean instead of just because of the image of the Hierophant, it is considered a very dogmatic card, which that is an aspect of it. So, um, okay. But I also think the Hierophant is the one who's really trying to start when a Hierophant shows up, it's like, okay, what are the structures that you need to be working in and you need to be understanding, and what do you need more information on? Because it's about um, giving and getting advice and counsel. So, all right. Is it your understanding that the 21 cards after the Fool are divided into three parts? One, learning to negotiate the physical world. Two, interior journey. And three, spiritual development. That is absolutely one of the ways that I have looked at it. Yes, yes. Um, Claire said, possibly the Fool could say, I see what you're seeing, but this is what you might have missed, and give the message to then pass on to the community. Ooh, Claire. Claire showed up. Thank you. Thank you. This is a good place to pause. If you do another 6 cards next time, we'll pause at the Hanged Man, leaving us hanging. Ah, I think I may do that. So I am going to open it up right now for what questions do you have about the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, and the Hierophant. All right. Fool opens the eyes to the Hierophant to new ideas and structures. Yes, Lisa. Yes. Yeah, that's a great perspective, Claire. I like that. And see, and someone who the Hierophant, um, I don't want them to come across uh, too dictatorial, because a true Hierophant is going to consider everything that is said and give it due time for processing. All right. Questions. What do you have? Because then I will get something scheduled for cards 6. Maybe we'll do 6 through 12 and do what Robin said. Do you have questions? I'm going to take a sip. Emperor and Hierophant are triggering for you. Okay. So what have you tried to do to help understand what it is about them and the triggering? I know you said you had concerns with dogma before. Could do a bit of, well, there's some work there. Yes. And that's true with many of the cards. Many of the cards there, if we've had our past experiences with people whose behaviors indicate or remind us of these cards, really can be positive, or they can be challenging. This was awesome and thoughtful and helped me through these chores. Good. I think the Hierophant has a bad rap because of its religious depictions. The Hierophant is the next step in learning after the Empress and the Emperor. Yes, because it's about how we work with the world. And I also wonder, it's like, Heather, I think you said something about looking at this as the shaman or the shaw woman. Perhaps that is a good approach, because they're the ones who are going to help you go into the other worlds and understand it. Emperor and Hierophant are both father figures, yes. I used to hate the Hierophant, but now see them as anyone holding the keys to my progress, like teachers, government, bureaucracy, etc. And for me, one of the things that I want to see in the Hierophant is I want to see keys, because it's opening doorways. Yeah, that makes sense. Rule makers. And when you got rule makers, you got to have rule breakers. The Hierophant knows the parameters and strengthens them. It's also an energy that knows how to move and stretch those boundaries. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. It's helped me connect make a pattern I hadn't seen before. It's so good to see everyone participating in chat. Lots of new ideas for sure. Isn't it wonderful, Claire? I love this. Love this. Love this. Is the Hierophant also associated with commitment, like long term? They are the guardians of order. Yes. Yes. If you're thinking about if you're thinking about if you're doing a a card about marriage or long-term relationships or commitments, this can be a good card associated with that, depending upon the position, because there's rules and structures that come to anytime you enter into something like this. Good. The next card is the Lovers, and the Hierophant is saying to the Empress and the Emperor, not so fast, you've got to get married first. We have rules to go by. Right, Robin. Does the Hierophant have the power over the Emperor? The Hierophant, the Hierophant, that's an interesting question, Joan. The Hierophant, I believe, here's what's going on in the outside world, not just the Emperor's kingdom. And so there would be some negotiation and conversation with the Hierophant if the Emperor were wanting to expand. So, does that make sense? I hope. Yeah, Robin is quite witty. I get that too, Heather. The Hierophant seems to identify with the system, which makes me want to rebel. Yeah. All right. I see the Emperor as dad. He sets small rules to follow at home, and the Hierophant seen the government. Yeah. Yeah, isn't his mind just incredible? Oh, you're welcome, Joan. You're welcome. Well, goodness. All right. So, thank you for joining Tarot the Stashway. Coming up on my channel, or I am actually a guest on Friday the 13th on Dan Shald Maiden Tarot on Friday. And I'm going to be there. I'm a guest on Manasa Wellness on Saturday. On Monday the 16th, I have Ivana Intuitive on for a casual. Looking forward to that. Next Tuesday morning, it's Tuesdays with Tarot Stash, exclusively on Jane the Secret Tarot. And then on Tuesday afternoon, it's Back and Forth with Jamie and Gerald. And Purple Elephant Deb H is asking the questions. So, thank you. The Hierophant, okay, wait a minute. Robin said the Hierophant seems like the Emperor's advisor in order to keep his people at hand. Actually, I would say yes, but also the Emperor could be the Hierophant's advisor. So, good. Looking forward to the next one. Cindy C, you're welcome. And this is where I really I value your interaction, because you're hearing my view, you're hearing Tarot the Stashway, and the Tarot the Stashway is made up of lots of different experiences. So, thank you, Brian. This is great. It seems the Hierophant could influence the Emperor in times past based on society then. I'm not sure how they can now. They probably want to, though. Well, of course they want to. So, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Do like and subscribe. You know the routine. And if anybody's watching and they want to have me on to do some readings or something like that, please let me know. Love to be in on that conversation. Love to do it. So I do too, Heather. To be continued. That's right. In all the old movies, the king listens to the high priest, and sometimes that works, and sometimes there's rebellion, and usually it's exactly what is needed for the best outcome. Thank you. Thank you. And by the way, an important thing, we're ending on the Hierophant. Here you go. The Hierophant is one who believes science is real. Science is real, people. Now, they may overthink it. They may make it, that they control it. That's not necessarily true because it's real, dude. So, all right. Yes, they are great, aren't they? They are great, and you all are making that happen. So thank you very, very much. Have a great rest of the week. Um, well, Sherry, you gotta send me an email. If I want to go gator diving. My goodness. Oh, and by the way, it's actually on Deanne Shieldmaiden. It's Taro Sachet who is going to be on with Deanne Shieldmaiden. So. All right. Everybody, you take care. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. And take care. Bye.